Let's see if it's working. Yeah, so she's the Madonna Anat, and I'm just Anat. So it makes it easier for everybody. So hi, everybody. It's lovely to be here, and we'd like to tell you a little bit about Saturas today, right? So, Anat.
Maybe I'll start with a short question for you, Anat. You're the founder of one of the most successful technology incubators in Israel, and a successful seeder of many young early-stage tech companies for probably the last 2 decades. And now, today, you are part of a managing team of one of the largest private investors in Israel, with more than $1 billion in venture capital investments. What actually brought you to decide to be part of our company?
Yeah, a great question. Thank you. So there was a question before: who's here on a ticket of an investor and who's on a ticket of a startup? And I'm used to be on a ticket of an investor, and I'm really proud of this green badge I have here. Yes, I've seeded dozens of early stage startups in Israel over the past, we are not saying how many decades. And when I met you about a year and a half ago, I was working out of this large family office that has an extensive portfolio in Israel. So I've seen a lot of startups, both succeeding and both failing. And what I found in Saturas is, first and foremost, a deep technology, not a me too, that really encompasses and has the potential to solve a lot of the problems that actually were addressed here with regards to sustainability. So deep technology that you'll tell us about. I found a very important cause. So being a venture capitalist for many years, and having really no visibility on what will succeed and what will not, I made a decision to invest in companies that have a big cause, that help humans and the planet in some way, in the reverse order, actually. So Saturas is like that. It really is a truly, truly, truly sustainable company. And then the third parameter, of course, of every venture capitalist is a large market and a product market fit that we have found in Saturas, where you're selling the products all over the world today. And last but not least is you. I found you. So I found a really, really committed, dedicated, experienced team. And that's how we entered the investment with the family office that I represent, and I joined the company as part of the company. And maybe now it will be your turn to tell us, you were a CEO of a large company, Veolia, which is a multinational, and you were the CEO of that company. And then all of a sudden, from your big position, you decided to found a company out of nothing, and you've been leading it for the past 10 years, maybe a little more. Who's counting? What brought you to do that? I mean, you have to be crazy to do that. So are you crazy?
Yeah. So thank you, Anat. Yes, I was in quite a comfortable position as the CEO of Veolia Water in Israel. But I felt that this is the right time to make a change and go to something new, innovative. As a technological person, and with 20 years of experience in the clean tech industry, I started to look for new technologies, new ideas that I can take and commercialize. In my search, I arrived to Segal Research Institute. It's one of the research institutes focused on agriculture and biotechnology in the northern part of Israel. And I came across Dr. Moshe Meron, who had an idea to measure the water status from within the tree itself. So at the beginning, the technological challenges seemed heavy, and indeed they were. 7 years of R&D and $17 million. But I could see the gap that was existed in the market, and I could foresee the value that this will bring to agriculture.
So what is it? What stands in the heart of the technology? I see you brought something with you.
I brought a model. So we are the first to measure actual measurement from within the tree. So in order to do that, we designed and developed a miniature sensor. It actually looks big, but the sensor itself is quite small. This is the sensor. It goes directly into the trunk of the tree in direct contact with the plant water tissue. And we actually measure how the tree really feels. And we do that continuously, digitally, and without harming the tree.
So basically, it's proprietary, right? It has patents covered on it. And why is it so difficult? I mean, what is so special about this sensor? Why did it take $17 million and 8 years to develop a small sensor, which I understand is very cost effective? You want to put it on representative trees and in different crops, right? And then therefore help farmers and growers and large corporates like Mondelez and others who were mentioned here earlier manage their crops. So what's the specialty about it? Why is it so special, and why is it so encompassing? Why can it give all the solutions in one
system,
all in one?
So first we had to overcome the natural wound response that the tree have when you try to do something like that. And it's just like medical device, but for trees. So we developed some techniques to do that. And then it's a system. We collect multi-source data, weather data, soil data, and others. And together with this unique plant-based sensor that we install, we are able to apply AI and develop an advanced algorithm that can provide the most accurate, precise way to manage trees. And that's the uniqueness, and that's what makes it very special.
So basically, if I understand correctly, you want to be the Google Earth of the trees, because you're going to be deploying it in different crops, telling farmers how to irrigate, when to irrigate, how their crops are really feeling, save money, improve their produce. How are you relating to the really pressing issues of sustainability, of CO2 reduction, of CO2 emissions? How does it relate to what you're doing?
So once you manage the trees based on how they really feel, and of course combine environmental data that we collect, then now you can manage it in the most precise way. The outcome will be that you will probably save water, because most of the farmers worldwide over-irrigate just to be on the safe side. Once you save on water, then you save on energy to pump the extra water and distribute it, so you can help in that way. But the most important thing for the farmer is that we can optimize the yield. And if we can optimize the yield, for example, in grapevines, in apples, in many other crops, then the income is significantly increased, and this is something that they can be stable and can be monitored and controlled continuously. But recently, the last years, we've been focused mainly on agriculture. I think that it was you that first raised the climate angle as well. Maybe you can share a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'll gladly share about it in a minute. I just wanted to ask you, you mentioned grapevines, and we mentioned Mondelez. Can you give us one test case about how Saturas increases the knowledge base, not only measures, not only monitors, but also increases the knowledge base in the world for irrigation protocols? Can you give us a case study about that?
Sure. We are working very closely with academia and with global corporates, like, for example, UC Davis in California and Mondelez. And together we are not just expanding, but also generating new knowledge, new know-how. For example, with Mondelez in cocoa, it was not so studied in the past, and cocoa were not used to be irrigated, but now with climate change, they have to be. So we are generating new protocols, irrigation protocol for cocoa based on how the tree really feels. And it was quite surprising to see that we can reduce 40% in irrigation,
really big.
and that's a big number, just by listening and monitoring how the tree really feels.
That's really big, and I've got to mention additional test case studies that we're conducting today with date palms in the UAE and palm oil, and all of them are crops that have an impact on the environment. And if we can increase the produce and reduce the resources, the natural resources that they are consuming, then we can really make an impact on the environment. But you are right that from the climate angle, and we in our family office are very much concentrated through an NGO called Planetic, so we are very much concentrated on the climate angle. We discovered actually a new crop, which is forests. So a lot of things that were mentioned here before, wildfires, deforestation, desertification, a lot of these trends, you can basically monitor and help prevent and help forest agencies in Germany, in Israel, in California, even irrigate. Forests are being irrigated today, right?
At first stages, when they've been planted, it's a common thing to irrigate for the first 2-3 years. Yes, we absolutely saw a additional way that we can be part of a total solution. And our recent work with forestry management teams in Germany and in Israel will probably help us promote this application as well.
Very good. Just on time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
you.
ladies. Thank you,
Thank you.
Saturas.